Well, hello everyone. This is ChrystalLynn, Cowgirlastrologer, and I just wanted to come on tonight and talk about the deep, dark, dirty truth about life. So, as you can see, Venus is in Scorpio and will settle for no less. We also have the last degrees of our new moon in Sagittarius. Mercury has moved into Capricorn, and Mars is still in Libra. The North Node is gaining power and speed and obsession in Virgo. And Jupiter is in Virgo. So I wanted to talk about tonight about some of the astrological aspects going on. And as you can see, I've come on. I haven't been on much lately, you guys. And, many of you know in some of my last videos that I've been going through some real intense stuff, some real deep, dark, intense stuff. And to be really honest with you, this is actually the third, I think a fourth attempt I've made tonight of making this video. And I've decided I'm going to push through and get this message out tonight. I don't have a big agenda of this message. I'm off the cuff. But I do feel that there's a message brewing, and I hope that it comes through tonight. I wanted just to talk about some real stuff. I think that we often, really deal with deep, dark stuff. So many of us are going through intense transformation. But the way that the world is set up right now is so detached from the truth. Let's face it, we can come on, we can create an image, we can put up our best pictures, the best selfies, the best lighting. We can alter the lighting. I can take out the wrinkles. I can put my makeup on just perfect. And then I could be so glamorous and so wonderful that nobody can touch me, right? Nobody can, know if, who is she? Well, that's just one small part of who I am. That's one small part of who you are. I think that we deal a lot of times with struggling these days to really have real relationships, real friendships, real families. Because with social media, we can really hide behind a screen, can't we? We can hide behind that private message box, and we can return messages when it's convenient for us. Sometimes that's a benefit. I'm not saying that that's not a benefit at times, but I think that we lose those moments when we really want to be honest with someone. How you doing? Not good. How you doing? Life stinks. But if I can wait an hour, I can come up maybe with the better message or a perfect message that makes everything look okay. And we lose touch. We lose feel. We lose that true connection with each other. The last years, I mean, I can go all the way back, to 2007 for us Virgos. But for all of us, we've been through a real radical change. This time in history is like never before. And, we're dealing with so many things going on, so many people fighting for their opinions, fighting for their voices, hiding behind causes that we can really be whoever we want to be at the click of a button. But who are we really? Let's get down and dirty. Let's get down to the deep, dark truth. I dare you. I dare you. I dare me. The first video I made, I was like a rambling fool. And fortunately, it stopped on me. And I was going to make myself upload it. Of course, it was giving me anxiety attacks because I was like really not connecting. But I wanted to show raw. I wanted to show authenticity. And then the second message, I was crying like a blubbering fool. And then I just had to stop it. I couldn't take it. And then the third message, it stopped on me again. And now I'm trying for a fourth to say, Are we going to lose the real intimacy between who we are and what we are as humans? We're moving into a time in history like never before, where there's fear, where there's hate, where there's competition. You know, people are looking at each other's lives, and we're trying to base our lives off of other people's lives. And we are really losing who we are. You know, I've shared a little bit with you guys about my personal life the last 4 months since my birthday, literally September 6th, on my birthday, in the middle of my fabulous Mars and Leo return. My mother fell and broke her hip. And from that point, had a series of health problems with a pneumonia that has become resistant to antibiotics. So many issues. I've had to become a full-time nurse 7 days a week. I've been juggling between this life of having somebody else's life in my hands, being responsible for somebody else's life, and then trying to juggle my life and hang on to these dreams that are my dreams, my wondrous moment in time. And you know what? The universe, God, however you want to express that force, that personal force that sometimes stops us dead in our tracks. And it's forced me to go inward. It's forced me to be in a very deep, intimate relationship, to touch somebody in the most intimate ways, to be next to them and experience fear and experience emotions that were so easy to detach from over the years. I'm really fortunate because my mom and I have always been really close, and I just adore my mother. I love my mother. She's been my greatest friend, and you know, honestly, you know, you only get a few of those that really want the best for you, that aren't competitive with you, that don't want to take you down, that don't want to find all your faults, that you can tell all your fears to. If you have somebody like that in your life, even if it's one person, such a wonderful gift. You know, but at the same time, as a 47-year-old woman who has had my own life, I've had to interact with the person who gave me life and see her as a real person and see her, you know, see where I came from, see the dysfunctions. There's dysfunctions. There's, you know, she's a Virgo too. So, you know, two Virgos together, you know, it's quite intense. Um, but you put two Virgos together with the same goal and the same strength and the same power, we have become a team for life, for her life and for my life. These are some of the deep issues I'm dealing with. And then you have to deal with kind of family dynamics. You know, a lot of things have come up that, you know, a lot of hurts and relationships. And when you're facing losing or the dynamics changing in any way, suddenly things that you fought about and held on to, you know, aren't that important. And then you have to face issues like real forgiveness. And then at the same time, you have to face issues about, you know, should I forgive? Can I forgive? You know, and so, you know, you're dealing with all these real issues. And when I do readings, you guys, and I look at these family charts and family dynamics, you know, when I'm looking for somebody else, I can see. I can see for you. I can see the pictures unfold, and I can give this amazing insight that's given to me from another place. But when it's your own life, when it's your own issues, oh, it's another story, isn't it? And I'm just really struggling with, you know, really dealing in truth and the raw truth, the ugly truth. and dealing with the real issues of things in life that, we grow up with. And I know, we know that, a lot of times we grow up and there is a lot of pain or a lot of confusion, and we're all trying to find our way. I've been given this rare opportunity to go backwards and to go back into the areas of my life I was never really able to heal, never really able to understand. And having this chance with my mother that was given has been probably one of the most amazing experiences in my life, even though right now I can't totally see the big picture. And, that's what I wanted to talk about tonight. In the midst of social media and in the midst of, these relationships that we can have, we've all living these double lives, we're one person over here, but then we're all hurting behind the scenes. I know for myself, as I've gotten older, my heart, my openness to people and relationships and friendships and that giving heart has become much more closed, much more skeptical. I don't want to be hurt. I don't want to give you that side of me. I don't want to give you that vulnerability because I know what it feels like to be stabbed in the back. I know what it feels like, to be betrayed. And, I'm not saying that those aren't things that I'm some kind of victim of everybody. But speaking from that place, I know what it feels like. I also know what it feels like to make selfish decisions. And only, put yourself first. There's times you have to do that too. And how do you draw that line? How do you find that balance? With Mars and Libra right now, these are some of the questions that are being asked of us, because Mars and Libra is really all about the other person and giving and taking in a relationship. And often in our relationships, they can be way off balance, where we're either giving too much so that we can be accepted, or we're not speaking the truth of how we feel because we don't want to upset everyone. We don't want to deal with confrontation. And so we spend a lot of years, holding in this pain. What could we say? And then, when we really do speak the truth to ourselves, we say, I could never tell that person how they've really made me feel, what they've really done to me. And then I say to myself, what areas have I been insensitive in to other people? And you have to look at that kind of deep, dark truth. And if you're going to look at it, the other side of it, you have to look at your side of it. And then you have to ask yourself, what is it that you're here to do? Because ultimately, we all have a calling. We all have a very, very specific calling. And sometimes in life, that calling does have to be on the forefront of where we're going, or we'll never really find our fulfillment. Then we ask ourselves, what is fulfillment? What's fulfillment for you? What's fulfillment for me? We've been ingrained to believe that success and, the nice car and the new boobs and and all of the things that money can buy is what success is. And so the people that have all that are miserable, and the people looking at all that are miserable. So then we have to ask ourselves, and I'm talking to women and men, what is really important, in a relationship? What's important to you? Is a relationship supposed to be the end all for every one of our needs? Is that other person supposed to be able to give us everything we need? Sometimes we enter into relationships, you know, kind of like the thorn in your side or the sandpaper. And we have to find that within ourselves. So there's this balancing act of who you are, protecting that, because there are people that'll have no problem taking you down. And that is a reality. I think that's one of the hardest lessons I've ever learned. And then at the same time, are you stepping over others to get what you want? Because if that's the case, then, are you really going to be fulfilled in the end? Through this process of being with my mother, I've reconnected a lot with my daughter. She's 19, and, she's ended up being my sidekick. And together, we're taking care of my mother, my elder. We've lost respect for that in this day and age, what that means. It's so easy, when somebody isn't giving to us or doing for us or able to, they're we just don't give to that anymore. And so by this opportunity for me to really allow myself to be a servant, to serve, to put everything else aside, that's the most important thing in my life. My daughter's watching this. My 5-year-old son, every morning we drive to my mother's, and we talk about, him, is Nanny going to get better? And I say, we're going to get Nanny better together. So my son is witnessing this, and my husband is supporting this, and it's been a life-changing thing, because everything else that meant so much is inconsequential right now. And Venus in Scorpio is about the raw things, about life and death and intimacy. Everybody wants that. But if you had it, would you know what to do with it? If you're not capable of giving that, how can you receive that? And so during these holidays and during this new year, I think we all need to really reevaluate what we're doing and what's important. We spend a lot of time doing a lot of things to get somebody's attention. But you know what? Really, in the end, is that a valuable asset? Somebody's attention, somebody's recognition. Because guess what? They're trying to do the same thing. Everybody wants to be special. Everybody wants to be recognized. Everybody wants to be of value. When you take off all the fluff, what do you really have? When you take off the makeup and you take off the show face, what do you really have? You have real people that we don't know what to do anymore. There's a lot of hate in this world right now. We have a lot of fear in this world right now. We have a lot of, fighting amongst one another for different causes. If I love animals, then I somehow don't care about humans. And to be honest, it's scary to care about humans, because humans have become so hard and so cold and so self-absorbed and so self-centered, and you open up and you risk really getting hurt. It's much easier to hide behind a screen and lose the value of what it means to really, really be there for your children, for your family, for those that you can touch. There's a popular theory going around, popular message. And I'm not even saying I'm opposed to it. I'd love to believe it. I just can't seem to get a full grasp of it. So I'm a questioning Virgo. And, you know, it's, you know, you attract what you are, you know, your vibration. So, you know, if you don't feel good about yourself, you're not going to attract good situations. And, you know, if you don't believe you can be successful and have money, then you're not going to attract money, you know. And, you know, what a responsibility to have to be at this high vibration all the time, right? I mean, you know, life from moment to moment sometimes feels like the sea. And I mean, I have a Pisces rising and a moon in Pisces, you guys. So I'm, you know, I'm just really subject to the waves of the energy. And so it's very difficult for me to stay right here. I mean, you know, even taking care of my mother, such an empath that I've just become her every feeling. I've become her everything. I can feel her. Even when I go home and my daughter's here staying the night with her until I get back in the morning. I wake up in the morning, I can feel her. I got to get there. I can feel her because I've allowed myself that closeness and that intimacy. I've allowed my heart to open up. And it's not easy. It's not easy at times. I kind of feel like, who am I? Who am I? I don't know right now. I have no idea right now. Um, but this theory, this message that, you know, when we're in this great place, then we'll attract all the great things in the world. Well, you know, let's think about it a minute. Look at astrology. Those of you following astrology, you're obviously watching this channel. You have probably a at least better than basic understanding of the transits going on. It's like a clock. Tick, tick, tick. And with each one is a lesson, is a change, is a pattern breaking, is a new pattern beginning. It takes time. And I think when we're ready to receive the things that are really valuable, you know, it's like going through a birth. It takes 9 months. And sometimes we're not ready. We're not ready. And you know, we value, we put on this pedestal these things that say we're successful. What is really success? You know, for me, success is creative freedom. Success is staying connected and available to my family, my responsibilities, the people I've made those commitments to. What makes me happy is getting to do the job that I love to do. To be able to read and to share with you guys makes me so happy. Like I'm battling right now with just feeling so isolated and so in my own little inner world. And to be really honest, it's super comfortable for me as a Pisces, moon in Pisces. I mean, I can go down to the bottom of the ocean, hang out down here and just hide. It's really my favorite place to be. And I don't have to be accountable or responsible for how anybody, you know, or allow anyone to hurt me or, you know, put myself out there. And I can be in my own little creative world. But I know that I have so many dynamic sides to me. Part of me, knowing me, I share this so that you'll know you, not just that you'll know me. I have a Mars and Leo. I can't keep my light hidden under, you know, a lampshade. I have to shine. I have to inspire. I have to share. If I don't, I'm dead inside. I have to fulfill my purpose. And so I'm going through these different things. I have to serve. I have to use my hands. I have to write. And it's learning how to operate the equipment that we were given, the energies that we were given. And to stop comparing ourselves. Because everybody goes through different cycles. I've been through cycles where I've been at the top of my game. And I've fallen from grace. I've been at the bottom. And now it's like, I'm going to climb back up to the top. And guess what? I'm looking at whatever this top used to mean to me. And guess what? It doesn't have the same meaning. It doesn't have the same hold on me. It doesn't have the same fulfillment. The story's changing. We're changing. Each person is different. And so, going through this holiday season, I'm just encouraging you, and I'm encouraging myself, as Venus in Scorpio gives her beautiful vibration, to just be honest. How can we be a little more honest with ourselves? I purposely came on tonight because I was like, I don't feel that great. I don't want to go put makeup on and get in, because, you get on YouTube, you want to feel good. That's part of the fun of it. Part of the fun that I create, part of my creative side. But this is a part of me too. Just the raw truth of coming on and saying, I don't need to do all that. I don't need to put a mask on. I don't need to put a front on. Neither do you. Get honest with yourselves. Let's get honest. I say me, say you. What's really, really important? Are you discontent in the fact that maybe you're stopped right now from everything you want to do that you think's going to just make you completely fulfilled? Because once you get there, you have to be able to maintain the responsibility of there. And part of being here is learning how to be okay here. Because if you're not okay here, you're not going to be okay there. We see it. We have history of famous people, of, rock and roll bands. We have documentaries of stories. We had everything our hearts wanted. And we drowned ourselves in alcohol, or we drowned ourselves in, drugs, and bands split up, and relationships broke down, and competition, and, so many people. And then what do? They spend all their years longing for that, that innocent moment before they knew success. We have to really be careful. We have to really be careful of what we think is successful. Really look at your life. What is freedom for you? For me, it's just being able to be true to myself, being able to be content, and being able to be connected to those around me, and be able to offer my talents, share my stories. Because I've lived through a lot of crazy stories, you guys. And I haven't even had a chance to share them all yet. And I'm frustrated. I'm like, why aren't I here? I have all these things I want to do, and every time I get to them, I get rerouted. It's funny because there's a story, and I'll end with this somewhat. I'll wind down. I'm winding down. Now you got me talking. Now I'm going. I got myself talking. There's a story, in the Bible about, about Moses, and he he was there to set the people free. And, they were in prison. They were in bondage. They were slaves. And God sent Moses to set them free. And they had to go, on this journey to the promised land. And it said that, it took them 40 years to get to the promised land. And apparently it was really about an 11-mile actual journey around the mountain. But they complained. And every time things got tough, they said, we should have just stayed in prison. We would have been better off. And every time they complained, they had to go around that mountain. It took them longer and longer and longer. And I think that's what happens to us sometimes. I think those stories are beautiful stories, beautiful illustrations of themes that play out in our life. You know, I don't know if there's any quicker way to get to the mountain, or if we can, you know, become so aware that we never have a trial because we're just so in the zone. I'm sure there are people that have reached that, but, you know, if I have to be responsible for my every thought and vibration, and that being what I get or don't get, I'm going to be a wreck, because I have to have permission to have my ups and downs, to go through my deep, dark times, to come out. The days I wake up and I feel like I can take this on and it's just freedom. And other days it's heavy and it's intense. And I think it's about just being honest with where you're at. It's so simple. Just be honest. So that's my message for tonight, you guys. I do want to share with you one last thing. I don't want to make this a, last minute infomercial, but I have a gift for you guys. If you want to go over to my website, Cowgirlastrologer.com, and I've got some of my products, some of my readings, some of my natal chart readings. These are great Christmas gifts, but I have some really neat jewelry that a really dear friend of mine has been making. We're kind of connecting together. She's actually my time twin. She's born, or close to my time twin as possible. She's born about a week away from me, and we've been designing some fun jewelry behind the scenes, just using our hands. She's a Virgo too, and having some fun. So this is just a really simple little holiday earrings, Christmas or for the winter. And with each product, if you guys want to get a natal chart reading or get one of my video readings, you get a free pair of these little earrings. So go over and check them out. See if there's something you want to do or get or give as a gift. I wanted to offer that to you. I wanted to put that in the video because I don't know if I'll be able to share that again. And it is getting close to Christmas. There's a truck going by. All right, you guys. Have a wonderful Christmas. Have a wonderful holiday. And I really look forward to the new year. So let's hang together through this, okay? And let's be real. Have a great night, you guys.